Okay, this is part 3 of the employee class. In this part, we're gonna define a new method inside the employee class. And this method is gonna be used to display the information that we have about the class, okay? So we are gonna continue where we stopped at, and this is what we have from finishing part 2, okay? So I need to define, as it says in the question, that define a method and the name of the method is gonna be display employee, all right? So I'm gonna go inside the class and I'm gonna define a method. So I'm gonna say define. What's the name of the method? Is display employee, okay? And take a look over here. Once I open the parentheses, PyCharm is gonna add self immediately. So in this method, we don't need any arguments. We just gonna access to the object that we have of the employee, okay? So we're gonna keep the self. We need the self over here. So in the inside the method, what we need to do, just print out the information about the employee, okay? So we're gonna print out the name, employee ID, department, title, salary, and that's it, okay? So in this method, it's gonna just print. So we're gonna have the print method. We're gonna repeat it basically 5 times for each one of these items, okay? I'm just gonna make it here to make it quick, okay? So, and each time I'm gonna say employee name, the first one, and then what is it gonna be? It's gonna be the name of the employee. How can I access the name of the employee? I have to say self.name. So do not forget, this is a common mistake. People sometimes, they say name only, but it's not defined name in this level. We are inside the class, so it has to be an object of this class. So that's why we say self.name. Same thing for the second one. So we're gonna say employee ID. We want to display it, and then we're going to say again self dot employee ID. Third one, the same thing, department, and then I'm going to say self dot department. After that is going to be employee job title, and this is also going to be from self dot title. Last, I'm going to say employee salary, and this is going to be also self dot salary. All right, so now we defined this method. This method is going to be one of the methods that we can run for each object that we create from the employee class. So if I go to the main over here, what I have, okay, in the main, I start to ask the user for the information about the employee, name, ID, department, title, then I created the employee object, which is the emp1. And over here, I print them out by accent from outside. So if I have another employee, I have to repeat this one for the second employee. If I have a third employee, I have to repeat this part for the third employee, and so on and so forth. But by calling this function, which with each object that I have, okay, I just call the function, and this one is going to be executed, and it's going to display the employee for that object, which is in our case employee. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to delete these prints in the main, and I'm just going to go ahead and call this function or call this method. But I cannot call it right away. I have to associate it with an object. Do you remember when we use object, we say the methods for the object, we say object name dot method, okay? So the object I have is emp1 dot the method, which is display. And that's it. And let me run it right now and see how it works. Okay, so over here, this is coming from this part where I collect the information. And then after I collect the information, I'm gonna create the object with the information I get from the user, and then I'm gonna print the information by calling the method display employee. Okay, so let's go ahead and say Zara, ID 111, department, sales manager, and the salary is 65. Okay. After I hit return at this point, I'm gonna create the object right away. And then after I create it, it's gonna execute the display employee method. And here we go. This is exactly what the method is printing. Employee name, Zara, employee ID 1111, and so on and so forth.